Kia ora everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's recap is a tough one. 4 trades, 4 losses and a red day overall. I'll break down what went wrong, the lessons I'm taking away and why I chose to walk away before things got worse. Let's get into it. So this morning when I opened up my software, ZEO had made a move up and was pulling back. Well, it just retested the VWAP and was pushing, and I decided to take an entry here, just sort of off the VWAP around 310, which is about there. So in that red candle there, basically at the bottom of that red candle. So what I was looking for is a bounce off the VWAP, pushing back up to the high. What happened was, I might play the video actually while I do this, and just do it at double the speed. So I'm here, I'm looking at the VWAP, I'm looking at, it looks like it's been trending upwards, it's now coming back down. There's a few candles there with topping tails, so there is a bit of selling pressure on this stock at the moment. But I buy in pretty aggressively here at 310, looking for it to hold VWAP and push back higher, and it did. It's pushed back up to 320. It's struggling a little bit here at 320, but then it's holding. I don't see any real reason to sell yet. And then it's pushing up to 328, 330, and I should be looking at selling now. I've got a decent amount of profit, 336 there. It just popped up to 336 very quickly, and as soon as it did, it came straight back down, and I hesitated and didn't get out quick enough. It was pushing back to these levels here around 330, 340, and I should have gotten out there quickly because it obviously wasn't holding those levels. It was rejecting off those. And then I made a mistake here as well. It's pulling back down to $3, so it's selling off. There's 3 red candles in a row, and there is it had already broken through VWAP, and there as it's breaking down further, this should have been really an exit, especially that green candle, that red candle there, as it broke VWAP. I should have just been out there, stopped out, and moved on, but I didn't. I held. So I'll stop the video there because it's quite long. So I held all the way down to 247. That was around $55 loss if I took it there. It did rally, and as it rallied back up, I held, looking for it to come back up. It came back up to just below my buy-in at 310, up to about 307, and then went sideways along VWAP. It did push again, and I did miss getting out again here when it hit around 328. That again was pretty quick push up, and then a reversal on that candle there, so I didn't get out there. But what was, yeah, and then when I did get out, I stopped out here on the bottom of this candle, as it was pulling back. It had pulled back, and then another doji candle here, and I thought it was going to keep going down, so I stopped out for a loss of $19.58. And then the very next candle, it started to push and then broke up, and this is what I was expecting to happen. Well, this is what I was kind of looking for back here when I got in. So right idea, wrong timing. And if I had been a little bit quicker on the price action here. I should have been out at this level here. So a bit of a mistake for my first trade of the day, and that sort of set the tone for the rest of the trading session really. This should have been my only trade. I should have stopped there, been down $19 and walked away. But you know, even a re-entry here off the 9 EMA at, you know, 3, what's that? 310 again, 310, 311, looking for that push back up. But I was still annoyed at myself for getting out early here, and it was pushing back up higher. So that was my first trade on ZEO. This stock went sideways after it hit its high about 382, and eventually just sort of rolled over through pre-market, so just gradually declined. Next trade I took was on VCIG. So this sort of popped up around 7:30, pushed to a high of 628, and as it pulled back down, I took an entry here off the 9 EMA, looking for it to reverse and push back through VWAP. It didn't, and I stopped out pretty quickly at 482. So I was in here at 503 with 49 shares, stopped out at 482 at this level here on this candle here for a small loss of $10.29. Yeah, and you know, was it like it had sort of held that level prior, but obviously with a fair bit of selling pressure on these prior red candles, I should have waited, even waited for it to become, you know, looking like it's trending upwards. It actually had pushed upwards towards VWAP before taking an entry, but I didn't. I kept watching it. It did hold down here around 450, 458, and then it broke. And as it broke up with a little bit more volume. I jumped in here at 512 after it broke the VWAP, looking for it to push back up again. It didn't. It pulled straight back down immediately. I held, still looking for that pushback, but once it got down to here and was the 9 EMA was crossing over the 20 EMA, I was like, no, I've got to get out of this. But I didn't get out fast enough. It actually flushed all the way down here, and I got out at 440, which is at this level here, for my biggest loss of the day, $31.68. So I had 44 shares in that trade, and that was, you know, that was a decent loss per share. So in at 512 and out at 440, you know, that's 72 cents a share loss. So that's massive. That is way outside my rules for stopping out. And even though it was only 44 shares, so it wasn't a massive loss dollar-wise, it's $30. Still not good when it's 70 whatever cents a share it was, 72 cents a share. And really those two trades I shouldn't have taken. Both of them are below VWAP. This one definitely is going in the wrong direction. For a starter, it's trending down. This one here, although it's pushed up and, you know, looking like it's going to possibly go, you know, the volume just didn't come in. It broke through here, but straight back down. And that big topping tail there was probably the sign that there was way more selling pressure. And the volume, red candle, big red candle here, is a definite indication of which way it's going to go. And I still bought in. So not good decisions at all in those two trades. Shouldn't have traded VCIG at all, should have left it alone. And the last trade I took was on ALZN. So ALZN. Bring it back to here. So it's popped up on around 8 o'clock. Pushed up on 8 o'clock, came up to a high of, what's that, about 574. So it came to a high of 574, pulled back down, came back up, broke through VWAP. I took the retest of VWAP here at 462 with 43 shares in there. It didn't hold, and I was out pretty much straight away at 426 when it sort of flushed down here. So 426 is just basically on the 9 EMA here on this red candle. So not a good, well, what was good about it was that I was out straight away. I didn't hold on to it. I was in, it didn't work, I got out. I was a bit triggered after this because then it started pulling back, and it did pull back up to VWAP, and you know, I could have taken the entry here as it made a new high on the green candle and was breaking VWAP at 450, and I would have done well. You know, it pushed up to 550. That would have been $1 a share and around $43. That would have, brought me back nearly break even on the day. But I was so unsure about myself. I'd just taken 4 red trades in a row, and I was a bit triggered and a bit disappointed in myself, especially on the VCIG trades. I shouldn't have traded that at all, and I didn't get back in. I thought, no, I'm not getting back in here. It'll probably come back down and I'll take another loss. So I didn't. And then it ripped $1 a share up to 550 up here, and then pulled back, and then went even further to 660, 7, 8, 880. And there's no way I would have got 880. I never would have held a position that far. But if I got in here at the break of VWAP around 450, all likelihood I would have got somewhere up here around 5. Between 530, 540 probably would have been a good exit for me up here. Holding through that to see the break through the high, I don't know. I'm not very good at holding winners. I would definitely have been out at $1 a share. But maybe that one might have given me the confidence to re-enter, as it broke or held that level around 520. But I didn't. I took the loss and I shut it down. I knew my emotional state at the time and my mental state at the time wasn't good, and I was going to probably dig myself a deeper hole if I kept trading. Maybe not. That might have been a bit hard to, well, actually, no, I say that, but there's been times when I've traded stocks that have gone up and I've still lost on them, so you just don't know. But I shut it down because I was not in the right mental frame to keep trading. It's quite funny. I held through the flush on ZEO, and I held through VCIG on the second trade. I held that one, and neither of those, ZEO did rally, but I didn't get out properly. VCIG didn't rally, and I took a bigger loss on that I really wanted to. And this one here, I didn't hold through the flush at all and got out, not that far off the bottom really, but then it ripped. So, you know, just seems I couldn't make the right decisions last night. So I ended up 4 trades in the red, a total of $77.03 in the red, and not a good week again. Another red week. Tomorrow's the last day of May and the last day of the week. I'm going to see if I can at least make it a green day. That would be nice. I doubt it'll be a green week now, having to make back, you know, over $70 when I haven't had a day over, you know, my biggest green day this month has been 31. So I'm just going to see if I can get a green day, not worry about how much profit I'm going to make. Just happy to end on a green, in the green instead of another red. I didn't trade anything else, and I didn't watch the open. Basically shut everything down and just walked away from my trading station. Yeah, just didn't want to, you know, I wanted to avoid revenge trading. I already thought I did that a little bit with VCIG, taking 2 trades on that, and that second trade was really, you know, it was a quick decision to jump in as it had pushed up and broke higher, but it wasn't a very good decision. It wasn't a planned decision to take a trade on that. It was a knee-jerk reaction, really. This was a tough day. I felt like I just couldn't get in sync. My entries were off, my patience was lacking, and I didn't take profits when I had them. I'm proud of one thing though. I recognized that I wasn't in a good mental state and I shut it down. Sometimes walking away is the win. Tomorrow's a new day. Thanks for tuning in, whānau. If you've had days like this too, let me know in the comments. I'll be back tomorrow, win or lose, with the next recap. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the journey. Hei a popo.